My name is Erica. I'm 32 years old and I run a family-owned farm in a small town in the Midwest. My family has been farming here for generations. What started as a modest family-run operation has now become a well-known organic farm in the area. Our produce is sought after by local restaurants and health-conscious consumers. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle. I genuinely love working with nature and feeling the earth between my fingers. Growing food that nurtures people brings me a sense of pride and fulfillment. My parents passed down this farm to me with one important lesson. No matter how successful you become, stay grounded, just like the crops. I've always lived by that principle. Even as our farm gained recognition and success, I never let it change who I am. I keep things simple, no fancy cars or designer clothes. Just hard work, family, and a peaceful life. I met my husband Matthew about 2 years ago. He had just moved from the city to our small town, looking for a quieter, more meaningful life. We met at the local coffee shop. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was there for my usual morning coffee, and he was struggling with a creaky old espresso machine. We struck up a conversation, and I couldn't help but notice his warm, sincere smile. He wasn't like most city guys. There was a kindness in his eyes and a bit of a clumsy charm that made me laugh. Before I knew it, we were talking every day, and eventually, he asked me out. Things moved pretty quickly after that. We clicked so well, it felt like we'd known each other forever. When he proposed, I didn't hesitate to say yes. It just felt right. But there was one challenge I hadn't quite prepared for. Matthew's mother, Diane. Diane is a successful businesswoman who owns a chain of upscale beauty salons in New York. She's the kind of woman who always has perfectly manicured nails, tailored designer clothes, and a way of making you feel small just by looking at you. To put it bluntly, Diane is judgmental, controlling, and has a very specific idea of the kind of woman her son should be with. She never thought I was good enough. After all, I was just a simple farm girl in her eyes. Matthew always seemed torn between pleasing his mother and standing up for me. He would tell me how much he loved me, but when it came to Diane, his usual confidence would crumble. It was like he became a little boy again, desperate for her approval. Our first year of marriage had its up and downs, mostly because of Diane's constant criticism. Matthew and I were happy when it was just the two of us. But the moment his mom called or came to visit, tension filled the air. I did my best to be polite and respectful, but Diane would always find a way to make me feel inferior. She would drop comments about my clothes, my manners, even the way I decorated our house. It was exhausting. One day, Matthew approached me with a hesitant look on his face. "Erica," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "Mom wants to officially meet you. You know, like a formal introduction. I think she wants to size you up." I took a deep breath. Honestly, I wasn't thrilled about the idea, but I knew that avoiding it wouldn't solve anything. "All right," I agreed, forcing a smile. "Let's do it." Little did I know, that meeting would change everything. The day of the visit arrived, and we drove to New York. Diane's house was just as intimidating as I'd imagined, a sprawling mansion with marble pillars and a fountain in the front yard. I'd spent the whole ride trying to mentally prepare myself, but stepping out of our old truck in front of that mansion made me feel small. I wore a modest but elegant dress, a deep, green cotton wrap dress from a local boutique. It was one of my nicest outfits, and I thought it looked classy without being too flashy. The door swung open, and there she was, Diane. Her blonde hair was styled in perfect waves, and her tailored suit probably cost more than my entire wardrobe. She eyed me up and down, and her lips curved into a tight, thin smile. Well, Matthew, you didn't tell me your wife was so rustic." "Oh, Mom, come on. Erica looks beautiful." "If you say so. That dress, did you get it at a craft fair?" No, actually. It's handmade from a local designer. I really like the unique pattern." "Ah, I see. I guess that's what people wear out there in the countryside." Matthew gave me an apologetic look. I bit my lip, trying not to let her words get to me. Inside the house was even more extravagant than the outside. Crystal chandeliers, pristine white carpets, and walls lined with expensive artwork. Diane led us to the dining room where the table was set with gleaming silverware and fine china. Dinner started, and I could feel Diane's eyes on me the whole time. She kept making snide remarks about farm life, almost as if she couldn't imagine anyone actually choosing that lifestyle. So Erica, I heard you run a farm. That must be exhausting. I can't imagine getting my hands dirty like that every day. It can be hard work, but it's rewarding. There's something special about growing food from the ground up and sharing it with the community. We've actually expanded recently and supply organic produce to local restaurants. Oh, restaurants. Well, I suppose some people appreciate that rustic charm. Personally, I only eat at places where the chef has a Michelin star. I doubt your little farm could meet that standard. Mom, you'd be surprised. Erica's produce is really popular around town. People drive from miles away just to buy it. Oh, Matthew, sweetheart. You're so naive. People in small towns don't know any better. In the city, we value quality. I clenched my fork tighter, reminding myself to stay calm. Matthew looked visibly uncomfortable, shifting in his seat. I tried to steer the conversation toward safer topics, but Diane wasn't having it. Matthew, I was talking to Angela the other day. You remember Angela, right? That charming lawyer you used to date? She's just made partner at her firm. Isn't that wonderful? Such a sophisticated woman. She's still single, you know. Mom, Erica is my wife. Please stop bringing up old girlfriends. Oh, I'm just saying. You have such bright prospects. I never imagined you'd settle down with this. Her eyes scanned me with barely concealed disdain. Her words stung, but I took a deep breath and swallowed my pride. I knew arguing wouldn't help, and I didn't want to make things worse for Matthew. But it was hard to sit there and take it. Dinner dragged on with more thinly veiled insults and snarky comments. When it finally ended, I felt like I could breathe again. As we headed back to the car, Matthew reached for my hand. I'm so sorry, Erica. I didn't think she'd be that harsh. I should have defended you more. It's okay. I know she's important to you. But it just hurts, you know. He squeezed my hand, looking guilt-ridden. It wasn't fair. I loved him, but I hated how powerless he seemed around his mother. Back at the farm, I tried to shake off the negative feelings. Work helped. Being out in the fields, tending to the crops, and caring for the animals always grounded me. But Diane's words lingered in my mind. Rustic. Unsophisticated. Unworthy. I didn't want to admit how much it bothered me, but it did. Matthew noticed my mood, but he didn't bring it up. Maybe he didn't know how to fix it. Maybe he thought I'd just get over it. A few days later, while sorting through invoices in the farm office, I got a call from the owner of one of the local restaurants we supplied. John was a friendly guy who'd always been supportive of our work. Hey, Erica. Just wanted to tell you, your kale was a hit at last night's event. We're getting more orders than usual. Also, funny story. One of the dinners mentioned they'd had similar kale at a high-end beauty salon in New York. I thought, no way, but turns out your veggies are getting around. Wait, a beauty salon? In New York? Yeah, the client said the owner, some lady named Diane, swears by the organic produce. I figured you'd want to know. My mind raced. Diane? Using our farm's produce at her fancy salon? There was no mistake. John confirmed it. She was buying produce through his restaurant's distribution network. The same produce she mocked at dinner. My jaw clenched. That hypocrite. She had no problem degrading me for being a farmer, yet she profited from my hard work. I knew I had to confront her, but I needed a plan. I spent the next few days strategizing. I didn't just want to confront her privately. I wanted to expose her hypocrisy in a way she couldn't escape. Then I got the perfect opportunity. Diane was hosting an exclusive beauty event at her flagship salon in New York, showcasing her new farm-to-skin line of organic beauty treatments. The irony almost made me laugh. I reached out to John and explained my plan. He agreed to help, saying he'd be happy to see Diane take down a notch. We coordinated our arrival to make the most impact. On the day of the event, I dressed in my usual work outfit, nothing fancy. I wanted to be exactly who I was, an honest, hard-working farmer. John loaded up his truck with crates of our vegetables labeled with the farm's logo. As we pulled up to the salon, I took a deep breath. This was it. As we walked into Diane's salon, I couldn't help but notice the lavish decorations. Huge floral arrangements, sparkling chandeliers, and an elaborate display of skincare products lined the walls. Diane was at the front elegantly dressed, addressing a group of well-dressed women. She didn't notice me at first, but that was about to change. Ladies, our new farm-to-skin line features the highest quality organic ingredients, sourced from exclusive sustainable farms. Is truly the secret to a radiant complexion. Wow, Diane, that sounds impressive. Mind telling everyone where those premium organic ingredients come from? What? What are you doing here? I just thought I'd drop by and see how you're promoting my produce. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This is a private event. Actually, Erica here has every right to be here, considering you're using her farm's vegetables in your fancy skincare line. That's absurd. I only use ingredients sourced through exclusive suppliers. Funny you say that. I'm one of those suppliers, and I get the organic produce straight from Erica's farm. Got the invoice right here if anyone wants proof. So, Diane, why the double standard? You mock me for being a farmer, yet you're selling my produce as some luxury skincare ingredient? That's just coincidence. I didn't know where the produce was from. You didn't know? Or you just didn't care as long as you could make a profit off it? Wait a minute. So all this skincare lines hype about exclusive premium sourcing is just marketing nonsense? I came here expecting luxury, not something you can get at a farmer's market. It's not like that. The quality is still impeccable. It's organic. Yes, it is organic. And it's from my simple little farm, you know, the one you keep insulting. Interesting how suddenly it's good enough when it benefits your business. Seems like Diane's been putting on quite a show. Maybe you should change your slogan to farm to skin and then to profit. You have no right to come here and sabotage my event. No, Diane, you did that to yourself. You look down on me, but you profit from my hard work. You can't have it both ways. I can't believe we've been paying top dollar for what's essentially local farm produce. What a scam. One by one, the guests began to murmur among themselves, some even pulling out their phones to record the confrontation. Diane's carefully curated reputation was unraveling in real time. She looked around desperately, but no one seemed to be on her side. I could see the panic in her eyes. For once, Diane had nothing to say. Just then, Matthew entered the salon, all out of breath. Erica, what's going on here? Oh, just watching Diane explain how she's been selling my farm produce as luxury organic skincare. Wait, Mom, is that true? I was just sourcing the best ingredients. I didn't know it was from her farm. Yeah, you did. You specifically requested the produce we supply to high-end restaurants. You knew exactly what you were getting. You just didn't care where it came from as long as it sounded fancy enough. So we've been paying a fortune for something I could have bought at a local market? Unbelievable. Mom, I can't believe you. You've been treating Erica like she's beneath you while secretly using her products to make money? Matthew, I just wanted to maintain the salon's image. People expect the best from me. Funny how the best happens to come from that backwater farm you can't stand. Luxury skincare? Straight from the Midwest. That's rich. Mom, you owe Erica an apology. Actually, you owe her a lot more than that. You've disrespected her, belittled her work, and lied to your clients. You need to own up to it. I never meant for it to turn out like this. No, you never meant to get caught. There's a difference. As the guests slowly began to leave, some whispering about lawsuits and refunds, Diane collapsed into a nearby chair, looking completely defeated. Matthew put his arm around me, guiding me out of the salon. For the first time, I felt like he was truly on my side. On the way back to the farm, Matthew remained unusually quiet. I could tell he was processing everything that had just happened. Finally, he broke the silence. I had no idea Mom was doing that. I always thought she just didn't understand your work. I didn't know she was profiting from it behind your back. It's not just about the money, Matthew. It's the hypocrisy. She constantly belittled me and the farm, but she didn't hesitate to cash in when it benefited her. You're right, and I'm sorry I didn't see it earlier. I guess I kept hoping she'd change. I should have defended you more. I know you love your mom, but I can't keep letting her treat me like I'm not good enough. I work hard and I'm proud of what I do. I know, and I am proud of you. You've done so much more than I could have imagined. I just hate that it took something like this for me to finally see how wrong Mom's been. Word about the scandal spread quickly. Some of the salon guests had recorded the confrontation and posted it online. It didn't take long before Diane's hypocrisy was exposed on social media. The video went viral with captions like "fake luxury salon exposed" and "how one farmer took down a snobby beauty guru." The comments poured in. Commenter 1. Wow, so much for her high-class skincare. Turns out it's just stuff from a local farm. Commenter 2. Serves her right. Don't look down on hard-working people while secretly using their products. Commenter 3. I used to go to that salon. Ugh, not anymore. She's a total fraud. Diane's business took a nosedive. Clients demanded refunds, and some even threatened to sue for false advertising. It wasn't long before the landlord terminated her lease, citing damage to the building's reputation. Within a few weeks, Diane's once thriving salon empire had crumbled. She was forced to sell off her remaining locations at a loss. Her name had become synonymous with deceit, and her social circle, once filled with influential people, now turned their backs on her. Back at the farm, things had never been better. After the confrontation, the local media picked up the story. People flocked to our farm, not just to support us, but to experience the place firsthand. We started offering farm tours and hands-on workshops about sustainable farming. The business boomed, and with Matthew's tech skills, we launched an online store for our produce and homemade products. One evening, while sitting on the porch, Matthew handed me a small box. I know I already gave you a ring once, but I wanted to give you this as a symbol of starting fresh, with me truly by your side this time. A new wedding band. Yeah, this one has an engraving inside. It says, "To my strong, brilliant farmer. I never want you to doubt how proud I am to be your husband." It's beautiful. Thank you, Matthew. No, thank you for never giving up on me, even when I was too scared to stand up for you. I'm done letting Mom control my choices. You and this farm are my life now. A few months later, we heard through the grapevine that Diane had moved into a modest apartment in New Jersey. Her salon business was gone, and the few friends she had left barely spoke to her. Matthew decided to reach out, wanting to see if she was okay. "Mom, how are you holding up?" "How do you think? I've lost everything because of that wife of yours." "No, Mom. You lost everything because you couldn't respect Erica, or me. You looked down on her without realizing how amazing she really is. If you can't see that, then you're going to keep losing people. I didn't mean for it to turn out like this. I just thought you deserved better. Mom, Erica is the best thing that ever happened to me. Maybe one day, if you're willing to apologize and really mean it, we can start to rebuild our relationship. But that's up to you." Diane didn't say much after that. I could tell it would take her a long time to truly reflect on her actions. But for once, Matthew had drawn a line. He chose us, and that meant the world to me. A year passed, and the farm continued to thrive. The online store brought in new customers, and our local workshops became a community favorite. Matthew and I even started teaching young couples how to manage sustainable farms, sharing both our successes and struggles. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours, and we loved it. One evening, as we watched the sun dip behind the cornfields, Matthew wrapped his arm around me. "Erica, I've never been happier. This farm, this life, it's everything I never knew I needed." I feel the same. Sometimes the hardest battles teach you the most important lessons. As we sat there, surrounded by the quiet hum of nature, I knew that we'd made it through the worst. I didn't need Diane's approval, and I didn't need to change who I was to fit into her world. I was proud to be Erica, the farmer, the wife, and the woman who stood up for herself. And most of all, I was grateful for the love and partnership Matthew and I had built together, rooted in honesty, hard work, and respect.